Hey guys, it's me again, Art by Diana Myers, Thursday night, Paint and Create. Here I am. So tonight, we're going to do a Halloween moon. I've done this a few times. The trick is trying to make it look scary, but the nice thing about it is it's only 3 colors, yellow, orange, and black. So fairly simple. Depends on how much you want to play with the black, really. I am just going to paint the background, let it dry, get drier. Then I'm going to chalk in some of the shape, and then we'll show you what to do after that. So let me get started. I'll tell you about myself. I help acrylic painters, new painters, newbies, that struggle with acrylic painting, become more skilled and more confident and all that good stuff on their artistic journey. So I'm just going to turn on my iPad, and I'm going to get started with the yellow. I'm going to go right in there with this is acrylic paint. I use mostly Art Deco, or Art Deco, oh my god. So let me get this on up here. If you've never been here before, it's usually what I use. I do have a private group and a private free group. Let me get on here. So I just make circles, just make a big circle. No perfect circle in this, kind of just a hazy kind of thing. And a paid membership, there's 2 groups. One's the Artsy Rose and one's the Garden Palette Inner Circle. I like garden stuff, obviously. So kind of make like a hazy circle. Now this is 11 by 14 dollar store canvas. This is fine. If you feel like it's too rough, you could put thing of gesso on it. I don't really think it's necessary, but you could. Kind of a rough looking painting, so I'm not really worried about it being like really smooth or anything. 1-inch brush, acrylic brush. All right, is anybody on here yet? Let's see who's on. Give everybody a few minutes to get on. I'm going to turn the sound down on this. I am just going to paint the background. Hey, Kat. Okay, how you doing? Let me turn the sound down because it's going to drive us nuts. I'm going to turn the sound down on this. I am just going to paint the background. Take me a minute, I'm sorry. Okay. I think I'm good. Hello. Just make sure everything's working good here. We're good. All right. So, I'm kind of making a circle. Not really. It's more like haziness. In fact, I think in the original painting, it was a little more yellowy orange. So you could actually take, while this is still wet, a little bit of that orange, which is just a bright orange. It says bright orange. And the yellow is just a bright yellow. And I'm just going to kind of tone down this yellow so it's kind of a harvest yellow, I guess. Mix it in. I don't want no white because the white will kind of ruin this. You want just this harvesty orangey color. Now they do have a couple in Deco Art. This one's called Fresh Mango. You can play with that. It's a little lighter orange. I was looking at this. I don't know if I want to do it or not. But let me just see if that kind of... So you just want kind of a hazy yellow. You can leave it yellow if you want to. I got to mess with everything. Yeah, I think I like the other one better. Just kind of work on it being a big section. Don't worry about it being perfect because we're going to go around the outside of this with a really dark orange. Straight orange, but I'm going to kind of come into this maybe with a little red. I'm looking at an old picture I had. I just copied it off the internet. I actually have this painting in storage. I did this painting before I even started doing these. Before I did my business and before I did this online business. I would put this up every year in my living room over a shelf. How now, brown cow? Hey, Joellen. Joellen helps me out by making comments. I get paid a little money, a little coffee money. So I just kind of want to mush this into the... I don't really want a line here, so I'm going to work on just keeping... kind of drying it, letting it dry a little bit, and kind of mushing it into that yellow so I get this haziness. Just keep working on... If you have to, you might even want to wipe that brush off a little bit. Kind of dry brush this orange into that yellow. You want it to be kind of hazy. Now, a lot of this is going to be covered up by that black. It's not going to be like, all out there. So there's no need to do this like super perfect. You just want that kind of haziness in the background. Dry the brush off, maybe pick up some more yellow, kind of work it back the other way. We're doing a lot of blending now. Now, if you're a slow painter, I have this little trick. Instead of go out and buying a bunch of stuff to slow down your painting or to speed up your, if you're a slow painter, you want your paint to dry slower. So all you do is get a spray bottle, and just a little spray bottle. I'm reusing it. Not too much paint on this now. You just want to kind of, just kind of blending these edges in. That's all you're doing. Just working it in. We're going to darken this bottom up before we put the black on. I'm going to actually dry this. Like I said, take a piece of chalk. Acrylic paint, when it's dry, kind of acts like a chalkboard. So if the paint is dark enough, there's enough of a contrast, only use white, never use another color, because someone told me that, and I didn't follow the rules, which I never do. And guess what? It mixed in with my paint and made a mess. Actually, with a client's paint. I was doing a class. I worked at Painting with a Twist for a while. Yeah, so I have been painting a long time. Started out as an oil painter. I still do some. I messed with watercolor again recently. Started doing acrylic painting right before he hired me. I was thinking about maybe, doing paint parties or working in a paint. Well, he was looking for somebody. Hired me right off the bat. Couldn't believe it. He couldn't believe it either. But I've been painting like over 40 years. I've done all kinds of stuff to try to make a living out of this. And I still do the hair and raise my family and raise my husband. Did everything I had to do. But it's not easy. But in the meantime, I enjoy painting. I paint a lot. And I like teaching people how to paint, which I figured out when I started teaching at Painting with a Twist. So I do a lot of different things. I enjoy like helping people that are, new to this or want to try some new things. I'm always experimenting, always trying new things. I'm game for just about anything. In fact, my membership in the final stage, we talk about trying new things and going and exploring. And they share the things that they've learned and done with me. And that's how we get along so good. So if you're willing to go on that journey with me, we're going to learn lots of stuff. Last year we did watercolors and, I don't know, I got a little ATC group. It kind of took off by itself as a group of girls, or I call the Rose Chicks, because the name of that free group is the Artzy Rose. See, so how I got like this kind of blended but not like perfect look. Can you see that? I'm going to wipe this brush off a little bit and go back into that yellow. I still want a little more color out here. The tree's going to come like right into this area, and it's a wonky tree. So there's no like rule about how you can make this tree look. I'm just going to show you what I did, and then you do your thing. Hey, Brenda. So, don't use any white though, because it'll like throw the whole thing off. Just have this yellow look kind of orangey. There's some different yellow. There's like an Indian summer yellows and stuff you could use. It's kind of a bright yellow, so I just threw a little bit of orange in it, just to kind of make it a little more, like a harvest moon kind of thing. So when I put the black on there, that's really going to show it off. So really get this part done so you can use that chalk before you start getting into, all this other stuff. All right. Mostly the black. So I'm going to take the dryer and dry it. Now, if you don't want to dry it, it won't work out so good. So you really need to dry it. If you ain't got a dryer, just, that'll work too. Our acrylic paint dries so fast. You know what I mean? It just does. I get to center it off. Make sure this is centered. I'm checking this. I hate the delay on this stupid thing. I gotta go this way. I gotta make sure you guys can see this. Yeah, the other way. Need a bigger workstation. I get too much junk. Keep cleaning it off and keep putting it back on. So like I said, anybody that's new to this, in a minute, I'm going to put up the link to go into the other group, the free group. And I'm there every Saturday at 4 o'clock. Obviously, we're going to be doing a lot of Halloween stuff the next couple of weeks. So, be looking for that. We're going to start working into some harvest stuff. I don't know, leaves and stuff, pumpkins, and then I think after that, we're going to start doing some Christmas stuff. I'm already looking. We got a door hanger, we're going to do a vintage Santa. Got a bunch of ideas. I got some snowmen. I'm going to make a couple kits with one. The one's really cute. I had a video. The video got, I don't know, quite a while ago. It came up kind of missing. I don't know if it was in the middle of a storm or something. Things like that happened with Facebook. So I need to redo a video anyway, so I thought, why not make it a class? So it's a cute snowman and a globe. Really cute. All right, so now I get this hazy looking moon. I think I do want to darken this orange up a little bit. So I suggest like a little bit of some kind of red or a darker orange. How dark is this orange? Oh, I think it just needs to be a tad darker. When I did the original painting, I'm not really sure what orange is because I change colors all the time. If you guys are anything like me, it's like sometimes I mostly get deco art, but I use like the good stuff too. So if I ain't got something I'm looking for, I'll get right into the, you know, my palette knife paint stuff, you know, the thicker paint. So, you know, with me it could be anything. So I do think I'm just going to try this. It's a spice pumpkin. Just kind of darken this bottom up, just a tad. Or a little bit of a red, which I don't see anybody right here. I just got a whole bunch of colors. They're over here on the floor, but I'm not going over there. All right, so let me just kind of darken. I just want to darken this corner up because if you look at the picture, if you have it online, it's like you can kind of see the definition in this sun a little bit. You don't have to get this detailed. I'm trying to keep it simple, but you can darken this bottom up a little bit. A lot of this isn't going to show, but there's enough of it showing that, you know, it looks pretty cool. So I'm just going to darken this up a little bit. Just the bottom. Just a tad. I'm taking both those oranges and putting it right here. So you do got a little line here. But keep that part hazy because there's going to be a big tree here. Don't make it too complicated. This is supposed to be fun. This is fun art. I like fun art. All right, so now we'll get the dryer. All right. And I did it on a piece. Did you guys ever work on loose canvas? It's like, this wasn't roll canvas. You would get canvas in the books. It's like real canvas. And that's what I did it on. It's your favorite. And so it's like loose. So I thought it was over there, but I did pack it. You like the blending? Always learning something. You gotta go to class if you learn at least one thing. I used to say when I did hairdressing, I'd say like, if I learned one thing, I took a lot of those classes too. I love that. I love doing hair. So I would say for what I spent, if I learned one thing that made me money, that's what I did. So I'm a starving artist too. You know what happened? We'll be famous when we're dead. You know, I don't know. Will we know? I don't even know. All right, so let me put this link up. Doesn't matter as long as you enjoy it. You know. Okay, there it is. Just go on, just click the link and you can go over, check it out, come right back. I'll be waiting for you. So dry this up a little bit. What's that here? You know, it's funny how I don't get everything up on the iPad. I hear you're coming up, you're on there. And sometimes it's all up here. So I never know. It looks like it's all on the iPad tonight. Who knows, right? All right, so. Yeah, so just open the link if you want to join. Like I said, it's free. It's every Saturday at 4 o'clock. And I'm not sure what we're doing exactly Friday. I've had a heck of a week. I had a lot of doctor's appointments. I had a nice little trip with Dana Rondex. But I've been messing around with that other group. We're putting in some new stuff. And I had to fix all the videos with what Facebook did. I had to get all the links back out of YouTube. Oh my God, what a nightmare. It's going to be a while. If I get most of it done, I'll be happy. But I put some new stuff in there. I took some stuff out. It's going to be like a whole new group. Well, we've had that group for 5 years, and it's been good. Just that Facebook kind of decided we can't keep the videos. We have to keep the videos ourselves. So So I saw a lot of them over on Facebook. But you think all of them came in nice, even, Steven? No. And they come in with a serial number. I got serial numbers all on the list. Oh my God. And then I didn't, when I first started doing this, I didn't know you were supposed to name everything when you put it in there. So I have to go through every video and look what it is. And sometimes I don't know. Now I know to get the painting out first thing. So I can just click, oh yeah, that's what I was doing. Well, what did I know? Okay, let me see. Now, let me dry a little bit more. You want it dry, get it pretty dry. You're going to need like probably a medium round brush, and you're going to need some kind of brush that you can detail with. A rigger, whatever you got. Something small, long hairs would be good. So you can flick. Or you could use a Posca pen, but I don't think it gives the same effect on this. All right. Almost. So now I'm going to get me white chalk. Where'd it go? Right here. Get back one piece of white chalk. Where'd I do with it? Oh no. Oh, there it is. I keep this one piece of white. When I started doing this on my own, you think I could find white chalk? Now it's all over. But I got this one piece that came out of my granddaughter's hopscotch set, or what would you call it? The kids use those sidewalk chalk. All right, so I want this to be pretty much more than half of the painting, actually. So I'm going to, right here, there's actually like grass. And then the tree comes right up into here, like that. Then there's this long bough, which pretty much takes up the whole picture. I'm not going to worry about the little stuff now. And then you need this long because I have all these little birds sitting here. And they're not really bats. You can make them bats. They're just kind of like birds. And there's another one kind of comes up here, and it has a little leg on it. And then that kind of comes up into here. It's got a whole bunch of branches on it, which I'm going to do as I do it. I'm just kind of getting the basic setup of the painting. Your composition, they would call it. And then you just kind of, I call it setting up your front room. Just kind of eyeball. You can do it any way you want to. You just kind of eyeball where you want it. So there's, you get the basic of it. And this is going to be all black. So we're going to do that first. Going to get a little, probably a medium-sized brush. Medium, let me see what I got. Something not too big, not too small, round brush. Just to get this started. And then we can make all the little extra lines off the back of it. So just kind of get it on there. Oops, that one black. I don't like that one black. I'm just going to kind of softly do this. This is going to have grass in it, so I'm not worried about that. Just start filling it in. Yeah, so I'll be opening up that other group here pretty soon. Give you a good deal. Anybody that's in my group gets the best deal. Groups, whatever. It's just a pain to do it, so you can tell I don't do it very often. Nope. A lot of these girls have somebody that helps them, and I have me, myself, and I. And all three of us have a hard time doing this stuff. So, old school, I think, I think it's ADHD. My daughter, my oldest one, which doesn't surprise me, was diagnosed. My little one, my youngest one, when she was little, has, she got help with reading and writing. And it's funny because I didn't read till I was in 5th grade. And then once I started, that's typical ADHD. I was like college level by 6th grade. So, not that I'm brilliant, I'm just telling you what happened. And that's what happened with her. I said, just that odd. So then my youngest one has not a severe case. My granddaughter has autism. It's not real bad. But that stuff can run in families. And I think about my father. He used to put him in. He's so smart. He can't read or write. Hardly at all. And they put him in special class way back when. And he was always mischievous, so ain't I, but, you know, so he was always in trouble. But I think a lot of it was because, you know, he had, you know, some problems. Well, he learned to be a mechanic all by himself. His father, stepfather was, and he learned, he could do my math for me, but he couldn't explain how he knew. Because, you know, he would do schematics. You had all those different parts you had to use. And he would figure it out simply by working on cars. He could take a car apart, put it back together. He was 14, 15 years old, so couldn't my brother. He still has a garage. So isn't that interesting? So I think it kind of runs in families. So all these things that happened to them, I never went and got diagnosed. Well, I'm pretty sure I got it because I get squirrely and I get busy and I can hyper focus on one thing. I'm all over the place sometimes, and that's pretty typical, I guess. See, I thought there was something wrong with me. Geez, I guess not. It's just as normal these days, right? So look, we got the tree in. Now you can leave the tree just like this if you want to. It's up to you. I'm going to go right ahead and blacken this bottom. So isn't that interesting? There was no ADHD back in the day. One year I got some help with reading and stuff, you know. So one of the teachers got mad. She walked me down. She says, Mrs. Lewis, why isn't this child reading? I taught, she was there for second grade. I guess her husband got sick, and then she came back when I was in fifth grade and brought me the rest of the way. But the other two teachers in between didn't really seem to help much. That just goes to show you got to have interest in what you're doing, you know. She loved what she did. She's a wonderful teacher. And I was young, so it's the fact that I remember that, it's something, you know. All right. All right, so we got the whole bottom in, all right. So now you want some detail brushes because we're going to do some small stuff here. So you need to grab any small brushes that you can find. Let me see what I got. I know I got smaller ones here somewhere. Find the smallest ones you got. So you might even want to use a Posca pen, you know, get some small ones. Preferably with a pointy tip or something you can roll and make it pointy. If it's not pointy, you know, you can always cut it with your, you know, scissors. I've done some pretty strange things to some brushes to get to what I want it to be. Now this was called a rigger. This is like a small brush, but it has really long hairs. And actually it was used by, like up in Boston by the mariners who were doing boats, and they needed to make, they're big paintings, I've seen them, they're huge paintings. And that rigging is thin in the picture, and they just made themselves a brush. Some of them have really long hair. So these are really great for super small details. So I'm just going to kind of make some grass first. So anything you got that's small. Now you could take a big brush and get similar effects, but I'm going to go right ahead and just start putting in some grass here. I want some thicker bottoms on it. I want you to be able to see it through the moon. You know, you want to see some of this through the moon, but I'm going to start out here. And then we're going to add some more branches on. This will kind of warm you up too, because you're going to be doing some detail in here. This takes the longest time is putting all this other stuff in. No big deal. You can do it any way you want. Don't stress over it, but yeah, this will warm me up. All right. Can you make it come in, you know, grass doesn't stop because there's a tree in the way. If you guys have ever mowed, you know what I mean. The grass will be coming out behind this tree too, you know. And it depends on a hill, some might even be a little higher. So bring it all the way up. Preferably start at the bottom and then up, because if you try to do your grass this way, you're going to end up having thick grass. Start from the bottom where there's a lot of paint on the brush, no matter what angle you're working at, and then just kind of flick up, just pull up. Put it down, then flick up. All right, so now, I don't want it real even looking, because grass isn't really even looking. I'm going to take a little bigger brush, and I'm going to start making some more limbs. I'm going to kind of follow, I have, like I said, I got a picture off the internet, and I'm going to kind of, I had a picture of this that I had. So I'm going to kind of make there was a thick looking overgrown, like maybe it was cut before, then it grew back in kind of thing. So I'm going to make a big one here. Just kind of when it comes up right about here. Same thing, I work from the thick to the thin. start with the paints on the brush. You want to start at the base of the limb. Well, there's a lot of paint in there. Then it'll flick out because there's less paint on it and you're lifting up. If that makes any sense. I made one go this way. It kind of crossed over it. Best way to learn to do trees, look at them. Literally, like, stand outside like a fool. Or take pictures like I do. I take pictures of nature stuff all the time. I don't do as much as I should. I'm finding that these days I have a little hard time finding time to paint. I mean, I haven't painted all week. Not really, except for a couple little things. Because, you know, this takes up a lot of your time, you know, the business part of it. So once this group is done, I'm going to kind of take a little vacation and just paint for a while. See, so I'm not making it real even. You want it a little thick, a little wonky, some of the pieces. Maybe even put a bump on this. Let's put a little bump there. It's like a snake, don't it? You don't want these too perfect. You want a little wonky. Get in some fun with this. Yeah, I'm going to make the bark a little wonky. You want the tree to be a little scary looking. This one crosses over that one. This one crosses over. This one got a couple branches off it too. Most of the time, I tell people this when they're making trees, and I can put some little branches in here too. Trees most of the time will have either a Y at the end or a W. So when you're doing the tree, be aware that there should be a few branches on the end that should have a Y or a W. And it just kind of makes it look more realistic. Little trick. I'm going to give this a little wonky shape too. So you got a lot of branches in there. Just kind of eye it off, whatever you feel looks right. Now we want to leave a little room here because they're going to be putting in some little birds and stuff behind it. Now you can go back to your tiny brush and start adding on some smaller branches. That bigger brush. You can like add smaller ones onto this. This would be a good time to use a Posca pen. As long as it's dry, because you don't want to ruin your pen. It has to be on dry. I'm going to make a bunch of branches on this. Real small. You see how I got a Y or I may make it a W? This has a lot of branches on it. And the last thing, after we get all this little detaily stuff, we'll start working on them birds. So make sure you leave some room so you can see the birds against the sky or the moon. Yeah. If anybody does this today, I'd really appreciate it if you would show it so we can see what you did and where you're at. And the girls all like share their work all the time. We love to see what you're doing. Sometimes I can't even tell. I got to ask. I'm like, what the heck are you using there, girl? Sometimes I don't know. There's so many new products out now. And I tend to stick to the same stuff, but I do like to try things. But, yeah, so I see people doing stuff. I'm like, oh, it can get kind of expensive, though, so, you know, I'm going to bring this one right down over that. Yes, it can. But if you're reasonable, you can, you know, get good deals on stuff. I don't know if you guys have Amazon Prime, but I do because I use it for all kinds of stuff. Also, like, you know, Jerry's Artorama, Michael's. I always, wherever the markdowns are, that's where I am. Even Walmart's, whoever, Dollar Tree, wherever I can try new stuff. It's funny because some of that Dollar Tree stuff has gotten really good, which fascinates me, you know. And sometimes they're a little too expensive too, so. Now they're going up everywhere, right? So I'm just making little tiny branches off the big ones. Give it a little wobble. You want it to look like just an old tree. Just an old tree. Yeah, so I put some new stuff in our free group too. I put some stuff in, some paintings I got for sale, some kits I'm going to be selling, which I'm still working on. I had to order some stuff I didn't have, you know. I hadn't done it in a while. And, you know, I got some other stuff going on. I always do the Wine Fest here in Syracuse. It's a big deal at the On Center. And last year I was still sick. I had some problems. I'm good now. It's, you know, and I had to have surgery and stuff. So I was not up to it. So she called. I says, listen, because she had a problem with somebody way before I got there. And I ended up doing it all the time because it's a long story. I don't want to talk about other people. But anyways, I says, if anything doesn't work out, you need a call. So she called me and I'm going to do it. It's a big deal. I get paid pretty good for it. So I'm doing it. So I want to take off a little bit of poundage before them. But I'm thinking about things I can sell or things I can do when I'm there. They supply everything, which is like awesome. So basically I just bring my hot body, I do some raffles, and I, you know, raffle off some stuff for emails. Might sell, I gotta wrap up a few of these paintings, see if I can sell, you know, you can do a lot. It's only one day, let me tell you something, it's like you worked a week. So I'm pretty excited about it. It'll get me back into doing it. You know, I still want to do classes, but not that much, you know. I was going pretty hot and heavy there for a while. It's not easy. I'm going to be 29 this year. It's getting tough. Yeah. Takes a little bit more out of me than it used to. Been doing it quite a while. All right, so now you can see I got a whole bunch of little branches everywhere. So now I bring these birds even down into here because they're like, this is like you're on a hill or something. At least in my imagination, you're on a hill. So let me just kind of wipe. We're going to use the same brush. I'm going to wipe it off and get a good tip going. Let me turn this around. Isn't that pretty? Once you get the tree on there, it makes a big difference. That's why you got to make sure you got that whole background done. So I'm going to use this little rigger again. And the trick with making everything come out a little bit small is to make sure that you put it into your paint and you roll. You want to roll the paintbrush. And then what happens is, like if I put my hand, it got flat. So I can keep moving it around and rolling it until you get, of course, get a little bend it from being in the water. I got to straighten them out. I have a trick for that. Just keep rolling it until you get a nice round tip. What's on here? You guys have been chilly. Oh, I've been trying not to turn my heat on. It's 30-something tonight. I've been having a little fan in my window. It's the 60s at night. Last night. And I get hot, you know. So, I tend to be cold. But at night, I like to be cold. So I have a little fan, just a little winter with the air conditioner out. Well, it got too cold. I get my little fire. I had a little fireplace, and I put my oven on for a while, and I baked some chicken. I pulled some little carrots today and baked them with the chicken. It was so good. I love my food. Anyways, yeah, so it's cold, guys. It's really cold. Yeah, so they're talking 30s tonight. I bring some of my plants in. I'm pulling the rest of my stuff out. Yeah, it'll be warm up the rest of the week. Ain't too bad, but it's finally like feeling, you know, usually by Halloween, I got my heat on, you know, so. All right, so now I got a little tiny thing here, a little tiny point now. And you're going to make some little birds. You got to kind of use your imagination. Keep them small. You know, the thing is, you know, when you're doing stuff like this is really small. Number one, in this case, it has got to be perfect. But you can, like, practice on a little piece of paper on the side. I do that. I teach color blocking, if you know what that is. When you're trying to do something real or figure out what a color is in something, you would mix different colors so you can come up with a color. You do little blocks of that color. You say, and I'll do little notes next to it. They're going to do that here today, so it's complicated. But I have a little, you know, I'll say like B plus G, one part, and I put a 2 there, and that equals the front of this package. So you can, a lot of artists will practice their colors And I sketch out my stuff before I do it, you know, big paintings. Maybe I'll try a smaller painting, and later some of my small paintings end up being big. I got one I'm going to be doing right now. It was originally a good morning thing that I did. I always say good morning, these guys. And then I turned it into a painting. We did a class, and now I'm going to do it in a big painting. So what I'm saying is that there's nothing wrong with taking 5 seconds to just figure it out. When we did painting with a twist, he had, which I used too, butcher paper. And if they couldn't figure something out, I would just, on the butcher paper next to him, I'd draw it for them, and I'd show them 2 or 3 different ways of doing it. Then they would sit there and practice, so they'd be all over the papers. See, so I kind of made these little, like, blobs, like little pears maybe, with a little point on the top. Just the indication of the bird. I'm not trying to do anything perfect. Maybe give it a little wing right here, a couple little legs, just an indication. You're not trying to get anything perfect here. Little, you know, see? Just give them a head. Little legs. We're just kind of throwing it on there. See, so you got 3 little birds. They're kind of not touching, so let's kind of put them on the ground here. I'm not sure what I did here, but it's in the picture. I'm just going to kind of, I guess maybe something growing out of the tree. It happens, right? And I put little birds, like up here I put one, up in this tree right here. I put one up like right in the middle of this thing right here, like it's sitting here. Oh, kind of little bird right here. Put it wherever you want. I put a little bird over here. Kind of make a little X. There you go. And then I started adding little birds. Just little V's, like that. Or you could do some with the body, which you do the same thing. But you put a little dot in the middle, like that. You get yourself a body. If you want to make them look more like a bat, or they're kind of swimming around, you could like put another one on the end like this. If you want it more like a bat, you could add little V's. Get the idea? So you can have a lot of fun just doing the birds. And I put a ton of them in here. I did some of them with the bodies, and some of them just plain. Like, you know how birds all kind of, sometimes they conjugate together. Make sure you do some in different angles. Don't put them all in the same angle. It's a bird here. Kind of see his body. I think this original painting, that's why it's kind of getting clustered right here. This is an 11 by 14 or 12 by 14. It's the next size up, like a 13 by 16 maybe. I bought a pad of paper like that up. Canvas paper, which is kind of fun. And I can, which I have done, is I have stapled them onto regular canvas board. I just staple or glue over the top of it. I used to do that a lot with painting with a twist because you can't keep all those paintings. So what we did was we ripped them up, which I did a few myself. And then when I need them back out, we would just, you know, kind of glue them back on, and then do the class and rip them back off. And we had piles, you know, like Christmas, summer, spring, hearts, moons. Isn't that interesting? And he donated a lot too, which is what I do, because you can't keep them all. There's too many. The ones I want to keep, I got too many of them too. I gotta start selling again. I sold a lot at this one place that closed. There's quite a few places around here. I'm lucky that I can do that. We have a huge artist community, which helps, right? People that are interested. So get back out there. You gotta get out there. Okay, so just get all your birds in wherever you want them. I did some small ones too. Do them right behind here too. Kind of like I said, you're kind of like on a hill. You got a few of these like in a mass, like they're all together. So I think this is pretty much it. So like I said, if you do this, put it on here or post it over in our group. Yeah, it's cold. It just seems like it's been so warm for so long that it just seems extra cold, you know. Oh yeah, that too. My kids, I am so spoiled. You know, I worked very hard, and I'm not bragging, but let me tell you something. My kids didn't want for too much. We didn't have the best of everything, but if I know they needed it, they got it. You know, I figure out a way. It might not be fresh off the press. It might be secondhand, but I got it. And they went to some pretty good schools and stuff. And now I reaped what I sowed, so I'm pretty spoiled. So yeah, if I say I want something, I have to tell them no, because I'm like, no, I'm just talking. Don't get me that. And that's really, isn't that great? I mean, so, I know, I'm being all stuck up and stuff, but you know something? I'm the oldest of 10 kids, worked all my freaking life. And I mean, from the minute I got up and mom could throw a baby on my hip, there you were. That's what I did. So, did everything you could think of. So, when my kids, they buy me stuff, and I think it's great, you know. I don't know if the next generation is going to be so good, but I think it's harder now, in different types of ways, you know. It's different ways. So I think they ain't got as good as we think they do. Yep, and they work a lot too. But yeah, my kids will get me stuff, you know, gift cards, and if I'm out shopping with them, I'll say, oh, you want that, Mom? Throw it in the cart. I'm like, okay. Then they take me to get sushi. My favorite thing is sushi now. I'm a sushi nut. Hey, Jeannie. Is it Jeannie? Did I say it right? Jeannie. Isn't that cute with an I? Jeannie. I'm probably saying it wrong. Sorry. Anyways, yeah, I got them all spoiled. And they got me spoiled. But they work hard. Anyways, guys. There you go. Get yourself a freaky looking little tree here. I call it a Halloween tree. But you could do a lot of different things with this too. You could do a little darker orange, a little brighter yellow. Actually, I think this might even look better on, I was going to do it in my paper book. I do a lot of paper ones. But I decided that, say, I had to make a copy of it. So I think because the way this came out on the computer, that this is definitely bigger. Because I had to fold up the canvas. They were in books. There was like 10 pieces of canvas in there, which I like to do once in a while. It's like I said, I can, like, sometimes, I don't do a lot on framing, but I do some. And what I'll do is say I got a frame that I like at the secondhand store. It's got something stupid and I take it out. Well, it's impossible to match it up unless you can stretch a piece of canvas. Well, I'm not real good at stretching canvas. But what I can do is I can get one of those books and I can do the painting and put it behind it, tape it or staple it or glue it. As long as it's not too serious, if you want to, especially if you're thinking it's something you're going to keep or sell. And then you can also get paper. You can buy paper at there's a professional art supply here. We have a huge artist community, Syracuse, SU, OCC. There's a whole bunch of colleges, Lemoyne, a whole bunch but we're a college town. College and hospitals. There's a lot of hospitals. You know, Children's Galasano, we have a medical hospital, all that stuff. So there's an art store here, and you can buy watercolor sheets, like rice paper, they have them all stacked up. So you can get paper, it's pretty big. Or you can use other paper, you could use butcher paper. So you can get pretty creative if you've got a frame you want to fill, you know. What feels weird? What feels weird, Tim? Oh, the cold now? Yeah. Anyway, so I've been framing. You'll see I haven't got everything in the group yet, but if you go over there, you'll see that I got them. I've been framing them up, you know, professional. Like, there's one. And I actually have better ones than this. I'm going to change that out. I thought I had bought some. I did. I found them. So I'm going to put that on there. But it'll have, like, approximately when I did it, what I used, what year it was, my name, it's signed. So they come like that. You can leave it just like that, put it in the wall, take the plastic off it and set it in a frame. Now most of these are acrylic or watercolor. You don't need glass. You can have it, but you don't need it. Except for oil. I got one oil. So if you did oil painting, I don't know if it's here. You don't want glass over that. Oil has to breathe. One of these is oil. No, I ain't got them all here. So, but I got quite a few. I got quite a few framed. It's a project. See, this one, some gourds I did. And then that one. So you'll see them up. There's a bunch of them. I'm not, there's, guys, I have books and books and books, you know. So these are going to sell. If I don't sell them online, I'll sell them at that place. Or one of those. But I got 2 places I'm been working on. So I don't know when I'm going to do it, but... so anyways, guys, have a great night. And hopefully, yeah, rice paper is nice, though. Very fragile. You got to be careful. I use that for jelly plate. Oh, that's another thing. I'm going to be selling some of my jelly plates, too. I don't have none here. I got one framed. I got to get... They're in, like, real frames, though. It's kind of hard to... I mean, I could. I'm going to try it. But, yeah, you could use those for jelly plates, if you know what I'm talking about, for printing. All right, guys, so I'm going to see you guys Saturday at 4 o'clock. Not sure what I'm doing yet. Got a lot of stuff to do. I've been doing some more watercolors, too. Little watercolors. I think you guys seen this one. I only got 2 frames so far. So I got a bunch to do. 4 o'clock, make sure you come on over. That's in the group, so you got to join that little group on the bottom. And I will see you guys then. My Kat and Lori, I will see you tomorrow night. We're doing this really cute. Oh, where I put it? I got a really cute. It's right here. He's going to be on a bigger canvas, though, but a little cute. Little scarecrow. And anyways, so I hope you guys join us and have a great evening. Thank you for joining, and I hope inspiration finds you wherever you go. And have a great night, guys. And paint, 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 and paint. I'll see you later. Bye.